Here we are, and welcome to a very special instant reaction to Superman with, I think, the person everyone wants to hear from, which
Clearly.
is my wife, one of the great guest hosts of the Friday Night Movie podcast, who indulged me after I received a text message from the great Mike Roberts, one of our all-time favorite guests, who will be coming soon to talk about F1 and Mission Impossible and now Superman.
Wait, you're letting him come talk about F1 and Mission Impossible and I get Superman?
No, you can talk about F1. You can talk about F1 also, because we did see that together. We've seen a lot of stuff lately. That's a really good point. But Mike, whose opinion matters a lot on this podcast, texted me and said that this movie is great. So we went to see it. And I wasn't necessarily rushing to see a Superman movie. And, well, now it's time to just get our reactions. Alli, okay, first of all, Alli's first reaction, everyone should know, we walk into the theater, which is packed, sold out, right? This sold out the big show at the Alamo. And Alli's first question to me was, these people are all coming to see Superman? Who wants to see a Superman movie?
I don't want to rain on the amazing Mike Roberts parade, but I maybe didn't feel the same way about the film that he did.
Right. But I mean, walking in, you were surprised that people even wanted to see a Superman movie.
Yes.
Did you, going into this, know that this is a new Superman directed like by James Gunn, like a new thing? Or did you just assume this was the Henry Cavill thing?
I didn't actually know who was going to be playing Superman, to be totally honest, but I assumed it would be a new Superman because everything is new. Everything is reinvented and
Okay, so let's start there, because I like your overall assessment of the movie. I kind of want to save because I don't fully know, because I kept looking at you during the movie and being like, oh, this is awesome. And you kept looking at me being like, is it? David Cornsweet, who was the villain, so we have our computer, who was the villain, like the smarmy business guy in Twisters, which I know you love.
I do love that.
Okay, which I know.
That was him?
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's just start with him as Superman, and the Superman in this is not an overpowered Superman. He's much more mortal, and they set that up from the beginning, that he can be beaten or that he can lose fights. He can get hurt. This is not the kind of like unstoppable god. But what did you think of him as both Superman and Clark Kent?
He was so underwhelming. I have no words.
Really?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I thought he was so charming.
Oh, he was like watching paint dry.
Really?
Yes. Like so not compelling. And I appreciate that he's not immortal and he can take a beating. But at a certain point I was like, man, you are Superman. Get up and shake it off. Like you have to show the people that you can do this. And he was just like face down in concrete for like 4 different scenes in the film. Was he or was he not?
He takes a beating in this, almost like, I would say, and you probably don't know what I'm getting at with this, but a Spider-Man like beating. And like one of the great things about Spider-Man is like Spider-Man is always taking like a ridiculous beating. I think that's part of why people connect to him so well. And I think that Cornsweet gives this very grounded performance. He is a flawed guy and he embraces those flaws, while also trying to be the best version of himself. You're like cracking up. I'm like super inspired.
Because the Superman of it all is the least disturbing thing about this movie. There are so many weird things happening. And I'm like, fine, Superman, he was great and mortal, but
okay, but you weren't buying him.
No.
You weren't buying him as Superman. I
barely believe that he and Lois Lane liked each other. Like barely.
Oh. Okay. I liked him, but I've generally liked all of the people who played Superman. I'm sure you can list them. Christopher Reeve was our childhood. I mean, that we were aware of, because there was George Reeves before we were. But you have Christopher Reeve.
Right.
Brandon Routh. He did Superman Return.
This, I will say,
he was a good
is my least savvy part of the comic book universe. Superman is never someone where I've spent a lot of time with them. So I'm way out of my depth.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You love Henry Cavill.
I did notice the Smallville pennant hanging in his room, and I was like, oh, I get that. That's a reference to the TV show Smallville. I felt like I was...
No, that's where Superman's from.
Well, I know, but I saw the little nod to it had a little pennant for Smallville in his bedroom.
But it wasn't to the show. It was to that's where...
Chicken Egg. He came from Smallville. They made a show called Smallville. Same difference.
Tom Welling, another Superman who I think was... I think he's really cast, and I think he was really cast well for this time. Okay. Because it's James Gunn, who is truly one of my favorite storytellers and made one of my favorite movies of the last few years of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I was put it this way, in a world where people are fatigued of superhero things and Superman things, he is a person that I continue, especially coming out of this movie, to trust to do a wonderful job. And part of what I love about James Gunn is that he brings the weird. He has an amazing sense of humor. And there were so many great odd things in this movie. What are some odd things that stood out to you? Again, I'm super excited about this. I love how we're saying the same thing about the movie, but it's a totally different tone.
No, but there was weird things that were funny and interesting, and I'm happy to dive into them. But then there was also the fact that the entire movie felt like, when you're eating something that's just a bit off brand, it's like you've gone to the grocery store to buy the name brand cookie and Oreo, and all they have is the Hydrox. And you're like, well, I guess it's the Hydrox. This movie felt like the Hydrox. Everything felt like it had a patina of just a little bit sketchy, a little bit shady. Not why were there Pokemon in this movie?
It wasn't a Pokemon. It was a Pokemon-esque creature.
There were so many creatures who looked like rip-offs of other creatures. And I was like, I guess we couldn't come up with original IP for these creatures. It's fine. They're just so many things that looked like they were 3/4 baked, but not 100%. So the Pokemon was for sure one. There were some funny bits. Lot of abusive animals, which I was really glad to see at the end. No animals were hurt in this. I think they were just CGI dogs. A lot of beating up of dogs and small babies. The Groot baby?
The Groot baby? That's what you called it, the Groot baby. You mean that? What was that guy's? I don't remember.
He could make any chemical component. Therefore, he could take whatever he needed in any situation. But he inexplicably had a baby Groot in jail.
Metamorpho. Yeah. But they called him Josh or something.
No, they called him Metamorpho something.
Oh, they did?
But they didn't explain why he had a baby in jail and why it looked like Groot and why they were trying so hard to get it out.
Well, no, they showed him at the end with his beautiful wife.
Why was there also a New York City party girl in jail next to baby Groot? No, inexplicably.
I think those are probably Easter eggs. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Those are Easter eggs about the DC universe that we don't understand.
Could be.
But that was played by Anthony Carrigan, who's a great actor who, if you watched Barry, you would know plays Hank.
You're just skipping over the Bradley Cooper weird.
Well, that was weird.
AI of it all.
So Bradley Cooper. So they showed Jor-El earlier in this. I mean, the cast in this movie is wild because there is a lot of cameos, not cameos, but small roles. I guess cameos is the way to describe it. And then there are secret cameos all over this movie. I'm going to tell you who. Well,
it's spoilers.
I know. So yeah, tons of spoilers. Forget it. This, you don't come to
this. You don't go to see this movie.
You don't go to this show to
cutting edge news.
No. To not this is talking. You have to have seen the movie to talk about this or not care. But they show Jor-El, who is
Bradley Cooper.
No. But who is Jor-El?
Oh, Superman's dad.
And I'm watching and I'm being like, why is there a Portuguese Bradley Cooper in this movie? That's so interesting that they found an actor that's Brazilian, but
it's almost
but
as if
looks
he's
like Bradley
three
Cooper.
quarters Bradley Cooper, one quarter they couldn't get it right.
But it was Bradley
But it was
Cooper.
Bradley
It was
Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, which I thought was kind of neat.
Maybe it was like a lifelong goal of his to be in Superman. Or something.
I don't know. So then they had some secret ones, like the Superman robots, like the robots that helped Superman around his house. Michael Rooker, who is from Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Right.
kind of, and Mallrats, which you just showed the kids,
Right.
legend. Palm Clementieff, who was the assassin in Mission Impossible, who joins their side, the
Okay.
French assassin.
Yeah.
But she also plays Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there was a great Sean Gunn, who is James Gunn's brother, who's been in everything that he's done at the end as Maxwell Lord,
Okay.
which I thought was great too. Because when you're seeing a James Gunn thing, I love that Warner Brothers DC let him do the James Gunn thing and keep his people in it.
He definitely made his own movie. I'm not questioning that. The question is that a movie I want to see? Like, I don't.
Okay. So let's go through some of the other characters.
Okay.
One of my favorite actresses of the last few years, I discovered her in Deadly Class, but she's already like a mega star in Venezuela, is Maria Gabriela de Faria. I think she is so incredibly talented. She played the woman with the fans. Yeah. But she was the engineer. So she had
she had all the black.
She was like the Terminator.
You know what it was? I couldn't think of what. Oh, I just put it together. See? Okay, it's all coming together. Her thing where she could build all the like Legos on top of herself and have them extend out. That was basically just Big Hero 6.
No, it's the same concept. It's nanobots. It's not. It's like, I mean, it's not the same character. It's Big Hero 6 is Marvel, and this is. But like, yeah, and in Terminator Genesis, they have a nanobots thing. Like, this is sort of a existing trope in the sci-fi
I thought maybe they just stole it from Big Hero 6.
I don't know. I don't think they stole it. I think the idea that nanobots can form things, and I don't know the history of that character. But Maria Gabriela de Faria was in Deadly Class.
Yeah.
Which she was the fan, right? The one with the fans.
Yeah, she was awesome.
And she was awesome. And so if you look at her, and then you look at Luke Tenney, who is in that, who is on Shrinking, right? Deadly Class is sort of like low-key had some amazing actors. So that's a cool thing. I wish, I mean, they can't go back and make it now. These people would cost way too much money to make that show, but that was a great show and they were great in it. Okay. Okay. What did you think of her and her character?
Truly, like I thought the stuff that she could do with her hands was really cool, but she wasn't, it was like we didn't understand like who she was or why she did what she did, because she had like a real bad attitude and she would show up places and kind of wreak havoc, but then Lex Luthor would call her back. But
then Superman was trying to get in her ear to be a good guy. I think maybe because I think she's also going to be in the Peacemaker TV show.
Sure.
And with John Cena, which if you haven't seen Peacemaker,
which he also had a cameo. Was that
he did, because he's part of the James Gunn DC universe. Peacemaker's a big piece of it.
You're skipping over the most important part of this, which is Nathan Fillion and his hair.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to get to Nathan Fillion.
Like that, like why are you holding back?
Because Nathan Fillion, being in a James Gunn thing, he appeared in small cameos in the various Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have James Gunn. James Gunn has now given him a full role as Guy Gardner, who I know you're a huge Guy Gardner fan. Did you know who he was?
On the ground floor. No, I know.
Do you know about the Green Lanterns?
I know. I know that there's a gay bar downtown called the Green Lantern.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's lovely. But the Green Lanterns are this like intergalactic police force.
Oh, no, I didn't.
And there was the kind of traditional one, what's his name? Hal Jordan. That's kind of the sort of original Green Lantern, or at least the most famous Green Lantern. But particularly in the 90s, Guy Gardner with the bowl cut, who's like this Green Lantern with a bad attitude, was like a funny, quirky character. And I think there's like a lot of balls in this movie and the guts to be like, we're going to have Guy Gardner be the Green Lantern in this movie, and then give him to Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion has a hall pass. I mean, not a hall pass, not that kind of pass, but he has like I'll see anything that he does. So like, I love Nathan Fillion. His haircut was hilarious, and I could tell that was a bit. Everything else, I'm not sure I could tell it was a bit. I think it was just weird choices.
It was true to the character. Did you like that character?
Yeah, he was fun. He was like the rule breaker of the group. He was like the I don't play by the rules guy.
Yeah, it was. I think they did a great job, and I think they did.
I think that again, the bigger issue is not with any of the specific actors. It's that the plot basically had no point. Can we talk about?
Wait, I thought I enjoyed the stakes of Superman,
and two imaginary countries that may or may not go to war.
It's all about Lex Luthor's obsession with like Superman being a danger to humanity, and Superman understanding humanity more than Lex Luthor.
Sure, but like Brasvia or whatever it was called, the name of the country. It was an imaginary war between two imaginary countries. One that sounded like they should be on very different parts of the world from each other. No?
Well, I mean, that's your,
They were like basically stolen from the actual map, and those countries are nowhere near each other, but anyways.
Well, it's still, I mean, look, we're talking about a world though where they don't use real American cities either. They have Metropolis, they have Gotham City, they have.
Yes, I think that they could have spent a little less money on digital artists and a little more money on the creative side, naming things in ways that didn't suck so bad.
Okay, so you didn't like that part, but like there's a twist. The war is not the point. The point is the war is to lure Superman.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
Now another element of this movie that was interesting, and I like that they went to the weird and the sci-fi early, and I like that also we didn't have to endure Superman's origin story. This movie starts, he's already been around for 10 years at this point, which I think is a great decision. If there's anything I can't stand in superhero movies are origin stories at this point. Like sum it up really quickly and go back. Like, we don't need to see a Batman origin story at this point or a Spider-Man one. Just take us to it.
Okay.
And I like, what was I saying?
No idea.
Okay, wait. Origin story, Superman. Him learning about humanity, okay.
about him.
I lost the thread. But
wait, I have a question. Are those accents that his parents used, is that also canon? Because that sounded like
they were very country.
There's some aggressive accents.
Here's what I'll say. Ma and Pa Kent, which includes, I believe, Ned Beatty played Pa Kent in the 1978 version, have had some great performances. My favorite Ma and Pa Kent of all time will forever be the pair that played them on Lois and Clark. I thought they were so hilarious and funny and sort of mischievous, and I loved that version of Ma and Pa Kent. But Ma and Pa Kent were very sweet in this. They were a little bit different.
They were a little overdone.
They were a little intense in terms of their, I don't know, presentation. I would say that was not my favorite, but that's also because I loved all the casting in so many ways. That was one of the only ones where I was like, oh, I miss this other version of it. Now, I think one of the best scenes, not scene stealers, because everything was really cool in this, but one of the things I loved in this was Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen was a huge highlight, and I would easily watch a movie of Wendell Pierce, Skylar Gisondo, the woman who played Kat, who I don't know who played Kat off the top of my head, Kat Grant, Michaela Hoover, I don't know, she was funny, and Rachel Brosnahan, like in the newspaper of the Daily Planet.
Totally.
That was that I want more of. That was a great, like, I would watch a Daily Planet movie.
I want to do the Superman ride at Universal, but have the guy who played Jimmy or whatever Timmy his name is.
Jimmy Olsen?
Jimmy Olsen be part of it. Like a great ride at Universal, the Superman ride.
Yeah.
Right? Super fun. You're in the Daily Planet. You're like bopping around and running from Green Goblin or something. I don't remember.
That's Spider-Man.
Oh, shit, it is. I was thinking the Daily Planet. I was thinking
that's the Daily Bugle. But I think that's a fair mistake to make.
Daily Planet, Daily Bugle. That is, we can do better.
But I love Skylar Gisondo, who's from Righteous Gemstone.
He was amazing.
And the way they did him and the way his performance was hilarious. He's perfectly embodies the Jimmy Olsen vibe, but I like that they didn't make Jimmy Olsen a nerd. They made him
he was super cool.
Kind of cool, and I loved that.
No, he was great.
I loved that element. There were some other Alli favorites in this. You got some grizzled Frank Grillo.
Give me all the Grillo.
Right?
Love the Grillo.
As I guess Rick Flag Sr.? Oh, I guess Rick Flag Sr. So if you remember in Suicide Squad, because I know you remember it.
Yeah.
You do?
No. It's okay. Move along.
John Cena kills another Rick Flag. I assume it's his son. So I
will always take the Grillo.
Okay. You'll always take the Grillo. Okay. The stakes. That's what we were talking about. The stakes. So you didn't really buy the stakes.
No, okay. Not even a little bit. Like I did not spend 1 second of that movie being like, "Ooh, I hope this all works out in the end." Like, I don't care what happens to these imaginary countries.
What about when Metropolis was getting sucked into like a black hole, a pocket universe? What did you think about a pocket universe?
This is why I might be out on like superhero movies. The number of times that New York has been under attack and survived.
That's Metropolis.
Sure, Metropolis, Gotham, New York, whatever you want to call it. But I was like, oh, gee, I wonder if we'll make it through again. Oh, I'm sure this will turn out okay. Low stakes. How many more times can they blow up the city formerly known as New York City?
All right. Now, let's talk about arguably the biggest supporting actor in the movie.
Was it the person in our row who just farted on me?
There was definitely someone ripping
I think
the atmosphere. They were like in the Superman movie, they're splitting, what is it, reality dimensionally. We had that happening.
Our entire inner nose area was just being divided by the stink that kept coming like every 10 minutes.
But I'm talking about Crypto the dog.
Crypto the dog was great. He was great. He was a total a highlight of an otherwise I thought uninspiring cast. Crypto the dog was great. I love that he was
The cast was great.
Not cast, the characters. The characters.
You didn't like the characters.
The cast was awesome. The characters. Crypto the dog was great. He was really poorly behaved. I identify with that deeply as someone
that was
who
really
doesn't
fun.
train their dog super well. I was like, I could see our dog doing those things. Yeah, he was awesome. He was sometimes looked real, sometimes looked CGI. You could never really tell.
His little face and his little eyes.
It was adorable.
And they really put that. I mean, that's to me one of the best stakes of the movie is they put that dog in danger a lot in that movie.
There is one, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there is one predicament that Crypto the dog finds himself in that truly my heart bent a little bit and was like, but the dog, that's not nice. So yeah, it was not super kind to Crypto.
What did you think about the number of times Crypto, Deus Ex Crypto, the number of times, or Crypto Ex Machina, the number of times Crypto saved the day? For a
dog that is not his, that he is just dog watching, I felt like you're really putting a lot of stock in this visiting dog. We've had foster dogs. We've dog sat. I would not say that these are experiences that necessarily convince you that you should put all your stock in that animal. And so I think it was a bold move on his part to be like, it'll be fine. Crypto will come and rescue me.
Well, they also did, I don't know if you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy, that Russian dog.
Yeah.
So I think maybe James Gunn was confident he could execute the dog thing. My feeling about Crypto is, and I enjoyed it for the most part, I felt like it did it saved the day a lot.
Yeah.
But I think like the Ewoks, this is a Superman movie. I think kids, there's a lot of, they say the word shit often in this movie, but like, that's great. Throw it back to the 80s when shit was in a G movie, you know, like that wasn't PG, you know, but I think that like Crypto is your Ewoks, like, or, you know, it's your thing that I think.
He's your Olaf.
Yeah. Like I think kids are going to love that aspect of it. And as much as superheroes are for everyone and you can take different takes on them, like, superheroes, particularly Superman, I think should inspire kids. And I wonder if our kids seeing this would like, I think they'd be worried when Crypto gets in danger, but in general, Crypto is a winner, like wins most of his fights in this movie, wins more fights than Superman in this movie.
Yes. Accurate.
What do you have any questions for me?
There were so many times where you laughed out loud and I was like, that's clearly a thing that I'm supposed to know what it was. What were some of the best Easter eggs for a fan, for someone who really does get it on like the meta levels?
So I'm not a hardcore fan.
But your dad is?
My dad loves Superman, but I don't think he follows the whole DC universe.
Okay.
I think he will love this version of Superman. I think he'll love this version of Superman. I think that some fun, I don't know if it's Easter eggs, but Mr. Terrific was a great choice of a character that was thrown in as part of the team. And now I've got to find the name of the actor because I don't know the name of everybody who is in the movie. But he was Mr. Terrific. Eddie or Edie Gathegi, he was fantastic. Mr. Terrific was also in the Arrowverse TV shows. That was the first time I was actually introduced to that character. And he has these T-spheres or T-balls or whatever they are. Like, and I just love the use of those and the references to those. I thought that was great. To me, that just kept cracking me up because I think it's kind of a funny thing. I mentioned like a lot of these cameos are sort of inside the James Gunn world. Mm-hmm. Those were really good aspects. Alan Tudyk being the voice of Gary the robot or number 4 the robot, depending on which one, was great. I hope they continue with that, but also just Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion being in the same movie, even if their characters didn't interact, was amazing because that brings us back to the world of Firefly. Let's see. What were some other?
I'm trying to think. There were definitely times where you were like, and I was like, but I'm trying to think of when they were.
I mean, John Cena. There was a Peacemaker cameo, which I think most people assumed was going to happen, which I loved. Yeah, it was great.
What did you think of the music?
Oh, so that's really interesting. So they used the original John Williams score. Yeah. And they used some of the aesthetic in the credits of the 78 movie, which I think was great because the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder version, was this like dark, morose version of Superman. That whole universe was very dark with funny jokes from Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's how that universe worked. And I guess the Flash, but I didn't really see anything with the Flash. And so this one was just like a lot lighter and had a little bit more of that throwback feel. And so just when you hear that John Williams score, you're transported, right? Like that's what that. The other thing that James Gunn traditionally does amazingly well, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to me is like the peak, like the use of No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and that fight scene is just one of the most amazing uses of needle drops ever in a movie. This one, I think the music was in some ways like a little more subdued for James Gunn. Like, I don't know if like he didn't want to like redo the Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape thing, but there are only a few placed songs here and there, but there's one that features Iggy Pop at the end that I thought was great. And then there's one that's from like one of the fake bands that they reference in the movie that I thought was great. So I think there was intentionality in it, which makes me really happy. I didn't have the soaring moments of having music from the outside world in it the way Guardians of the Galaxy had. Yeah, but I think if he had redone that in this, it would have been weird, right? Like if you had like a some sort of 70s bop in the middle of this, it would have felt like he was using one of his tricks. What did you think?
No, see, I think you're right. I think, but like he went in the super far in the opposite direction. I think almost like Guardians of the Galaxy has so many great songs. You got like Hooked on a Feeling, and you're just like, yeah.
And the Space Hog song that's in the last one.
Yeah. But this one was like almost entirely in the other direction, where I recognized almost none of the music except for the Superman theme song, and then like a couple pop adjacent songs that I was like, I don't even think these are famous songs. I think they're just pop songs that are.
I mean, it looked like in the credits there were only like four credited songs, which I thought was kind of cool. I think that was cool for him to go in the other direction for this. Do you have any other questions for me?
No.
What are your predictions for the
next Superman?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think's going to happen?
I'm sorry. I predict he will live.
I don't know. They can look. I would be happy. Again, I know they've done the Death of Superman now many times on screen, whether in animated or the live action one. But if they were to, this Superman is physically beatable, so it's believable that he could die. If they were to do the Doomsday plot much closer to the way it was done in the 90s, you have set up a lot of the things here because Guy Gardner's in that era. Like, I think you could pull it off, but they have room. They can build to that the way in the Marvel Universe you build towards the Avengers movie where like everyone's involved.
Yeah.
I think they could now do some other things in the DC Universe and then truly build to the proper Doomsday story as it was done, and then do the Return of Superman or whatever it was called with the 4 different types of Superman. Do you know about this with the clone Superman and the Kryptonian and the robot and the
vaguely?
Okay. Anyways, I think you could do all of this stuff, and James Gunn would that could be like the epic that you're building towards in a number of years with him at the helm. Like, I think I'm willing to be very patient. They don't need to rush this. This was really good. He knows how to bring in odd characters and make them lovable. So
you watch that movie, and I will watch Esther Perel do couples counseling on Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
They barely like each other.
No, they were so smoochy at the end.
At the end. She was like, she said, I nearly broke up with him.
But she's emotionally unavailable. We didn't talk about Rachel Brosnahan. Did you want to talk about her as Lois Lane? I think she did a quintessential Lois Lane, a real throwback to Margot Kidder.
Yeah, she was like a good Lois Lane, but they oversold me on how rocky they were in this relationship 3 months in. I was like, ooh, I don't know if these two are going to make it. This is real dicey.
One of my favorite scenes, and this is a kind of geeky thing because of my past career, but the scene where he gets her to interview him and he goes in all confident and he keeps trying to go off the record. And I thought that was like, to me, gave like me a little bit of anxiety, but like at the same time, that was, I think, just a hilarious moment because like, and this is something that I think they did a bunch of in the movie, which is like journalism, like in Spider-Man. Yeah. Journalism is like a part of the story of Superman. Lois Lane as a important journalist and Jimmy Olsen getting sources. Like these were little details that I thought made the world work really well. So anyways, I think this was a great big screen movie. Now we saw another big screen movie. Mm-hmm. We saw F1. Yep. With Brad Pitt. Yep. And a bunch of other people.
Dr. Stonefield from television.
Oh, yeah. She was amazing.
She was incredible.
She was amazing in that.
Was that her name? Stonefield? Dr.
I don't remember the name of the doctor.
Yeah.
But she's the woman who played the doctor, and she was amazing in that. That was another big screen movie that I highly recommend seeing on the big screen. Like, these were both.
Yeah.
I love movie theaters. I don't think every movie needs to be a blockbuster to see it on the big screen. But these are slam dunks for going to the theater, as far as I'm concerned.
F1, yes.
So you liked F1 more than Superman?
Unquestionably.
Okay, I liked F1 a lot. I loved it. I thought it was super fun. It delivered on its promise. I rank Superman at probably, I'm not sure. They're two very different things, but I really enjoyed F1. What did you like most about F1?
For someone who does not know anything or is like coming in as a complete blank slate to F1, like
I think that was going in our favor. I think not understanding how they build these cars, like they could have told me that they were making those cars shoot into the atmosphere, and I would have been like, yeah, whatever. Okay. I don't watch racing. Who cares?
I felt like they did a really good job of making something approachable and interesting to people who don't necessarily know that world. Like, I thought it was fascinating. The shaving a 1/10 or 100th of a second off the amount of, like, of course, I loved the training sessions and like showing how hard they have to work their bodies to be able to do all that.
I like the way the team stuff worked. I like the way that the communication between the
Top
team.
Gun Maverick Take 3.
Yeah, Joseph Kosinski, to me, is in a different way than James Gunn. But James Gunn, like, these are two directors who, if they're making something for the big screen, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it like gives me so much joy that I think there are guys that are doing things at that, like, fun blockbuster delivering way that, like, we grew up on. I don't know. It seems they love the type of movies they're making in a way that makes me, like, I'm in it with them. I'm like, oh, you guys are having fun. I'm having fun.
F1 was a total spectacle in the best way possible. Like, that is a movie to see on the big screen. It was awesome. It had, like,
good character payoffs. Yeah. Brad Pitt was Brad Pitting away in it.
Yep.
All right. Well, Allie.
Yes.
I mean, we could keep talking. We even watched The White Lotus together, but my sisters say that we're, like, way behind on talking about The White Lotus, so
we missed that boat.
We'll just ignore that. Is there anything else you want to recommend or shout out to while we're here?
So I just finished watching Sirens, which is only 5 episodes, and actually
not the movie with Elle Macpherson from the 90s, I think.
Not that one. Netflix, right? Netflix, I think.
Is it about mermaids?
You know, I don't really know. And I say that because there's a bit of a magical element to the show. So it's oh my God, Julianne Moore. Is that right? Red hair, Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore?
Yeah. Julianne Moore, Kevin Bacon, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the guys from Always Sunny.
Charlie Day?
No, other one.
Glenn Howerton.
Yeah. Him. It's like great cast. And then that woman who you really like too, whose name I'm completely forgetting.
Okay, well.
But anyways, great cast. A little creepy, a little like, is this magical? Is it not? Is it just like kind of a weird, you're being dropped into a really messed up community and you're kind of like, you're coming in with the sister who's the outsider and like being like, what is up with the people in this community? But just really cool. Like, I just thought it was like a solid summer, like, mystery, murdery kind of thing. Very cool.
Speaking of Kevin Bacon, there's a show on Amazon that I loved, Josh loved also, called The Bondsman with Kevin Bacon. It's kind of a supernatural action comedy, kind of. It scratches my Evil Dead, Stand Against Evil, Constantine itch. Like, I love this kind of show. It has a good fit core family story because it's about a guy who dies and comes back to life and has to reconcile with his family as he has this, deal with the devil to hunt demons or something.
That's what it does.
But Kevin Bacon is great in it, and it's both funny, but also anchored really well in good characters and some really good family relationships. And so I hope they give it another season. It had a really fun cliffhanger at the end of the season. So The Bondsman is my recommendation for anyone. Any of my pals who love a horror comedy, this is definitely in your heir to the Ash versus Evil Dead or Stand Against Evil or one of those.
Fair enough.
So with that, thank you so much for coming in as a guest. You're the best. Love you.
I love you too.
And we'll be back soon with other people next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FriNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FriNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.